ProEd team. My name is Bhumika, and I'm one of the counselors at ProEd. And on behalf of the entire team, I would like to thank all of you for joining us today. May I now introduce our special guest for the day, Ritika Jain, one of our alumni who has studied MSc in Business Analytics from NTU Singapore. Before we start, I would like to thank and appreciate Ritika for taking out some time from her busy schedule to connect with us for the webinar. Thanks a lot, Ritika. So, Ritika, could you please give a brief introduction about yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure, Bhumika. Thank you for having me here. So, hi everyone, I'm Ritika Jain, and currently I'm working as an IT solution expert at Siemens Energy in Gurugram itself. I did my engineering from IP University from 2016 to 2020, and in 2020 I went to Singapore to study MSc in Business Analytics at Nanyang Technological University. And I graduated in 2022 in January itself. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Ritika. So it's my humble request to one and all present here to note down your queries and concerns that you would be having with her. So that first I finish my round of questions, I'll provide you the opportunity to interact and discuss your queries with her. So my first question to you, Ritika, is that why did you choose Singapore as your study abroad destination? And how is life different in Singapore as compared to India?
So I actually chose Singapore as my study destination in 2017. I went as a tourist there with my family, and we all fell in love with the country on how everything is well structured there, and it's so much safe as a tourist and as a resident, as a person who is living there itself. And moreover, on interacting with many foreigners there who are expats, they also find the country quite comfortable in living there. So I made up my mind that my first priority will be Singapore for my post-graduation.
Okay. So why did you choose NTU and how is NTU different from other university?
So I was always interested in data analytics and data sciences, and NTU provided this course, MSc in Business Analytics, which is a part of Nanyang Business School. So this course was quite different from the one which I have seen in other universities. It had both the modules. One was a working module and one was for the study. So if a student is enrolled in this coursework, he or she gets an opportunity to work as an intern full-time, and he or she is also a student at the same time, which I believe led to a lot of exposure in the industrial segment. And moreover, the way this module was designed, it was well structured, and one could also expand this module for 1.5 years. Like if this 1 year is a compulsory, but if someone is not able to complete in 1 year, he or she can expand it to 1.5 years, which is quite flexible and does not burden a person in itself. And that was like the reason why I choose NTU for this course.
Wow, that's really great. Okay, please share your experience of studying at NTU.
My experience studying at NTU was amazing, I would say. I had a lot of first times, which made me a headstrong and a confident girl that I am today. And moreover, this minimal household works, handling your own finances, and keeping a schedule of what you have to do, where you have to work hard, made me a more responsible and accountable person that I believe I am today. Moreover, it also helped me with expanding my network base, which helped me in participating in various projects from different fields, like a medical field or a finance field. And also, I also got to play new sports, and I first time experienced kayaking with my NTU friends there itself. And Moreover, yeah, like I also, it was just amazing. How should I explain? As a student who has just been in an India, in an IP university, surrounded by your loved ones, from college to home to college. In NTU, it was totally different. I could experience varied festivities along with my friends from different countries. And hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I could experience various festivities with my. I can actually take part in various festivals with my friends who came to NTU to study. So yeah, was my whole experience. It's a mix of both, first comes and hardships, everything.
So it basically transformed you into a new person.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So
So
was
what
your
sub
course very interesting? Like, were there many people in your cohort from different countries?
Yes, many people from my course were from different countries. Majority of them were Chinese, and we Indian were at minority. There were one from Luxembourg. There were some people from Taiwan as well, from Sri Lanka, and also from Turkey. There was also one person from Germany, a PhD student, with whom I shared 2 or 3 modules.
That's great. Okay, so what subjects were you studying and what have you learned about the course?
As for the subject, since I studied MSc in business analytics, so the first trimester was based on basics, which were like making students learn programming on how should they code, and statistics, so that they could actually um look we were actually told about various charts and make an inference from those charts on how the distributions of various data points take place. Moreover, like as we move further from trimester 1 to trimester 2, the modules became quite like elective and concentrated in one segment of an area. Like there were modules only specific for marketing, there were modules specific only for finance, and there were modules specific only for the operations, and there were also modules for design and thinking. So these modules actually told us, like gave us a knowledge on how data analytics can be used in these different fields, and we were also given an opportunity to work on the projects related to these topics.
So as you said that you learned about coding and statistics, so was it required for you to have a prior knowledge of coding and statistics?
Since I am from an engineering background, I was already equipped with this knowledge of programming and statistics. So it wasn't that difficult for me. But for other students, it was a hardship to learn. And in order to move to the further courses, it was compulsory to get the threshold mark. Like it was compulsory for them to pass these modules. And other than that, it's not that difficult at all. And one does need to learn coding and stats for it.
So would you suggest students to have a look at the course they are going for further so that they can be prepared beforehand with the basics of some topics which might be required to study later on?
Actually, before official joining of the course, professors do provide you with the classes in order to educate their students with these subjects. So it becomes quite easy for a student during a coursework to understand like the basic, and also get to know about more advanced on the basis of those foundation topics. And if a person have a time, like after completing their graduation and they have a time, so they can study about it. But if they don't, then not to worry, professors will provide you with some extra classes before the starting of the project.
So was your course a very tedious course in terms of you having to stay awake at night, and was a lot of hard work required?
Since I was an intern at CIMB Bank during my entire coursework, so it was quite tedious for me because I used to work in the day and attend my university lectures at evening, and then at night I used to work on projects or do some basic household work. So it does become tedious, but I believe that's what changed. Like that was the biggest change. That what brought a change in me to become more punctual, to have a schedule, to make a routine. And at one point, I completely like enjoyed it because it didn't give me time to think about home or my parents, anything. I was just working towards making my future. So if you choose an internship, it does become tedious, and everything requires a hard work. So hard work is not something that one should think ki, okay, इसमें
Run
कोई
away from.
yeah, run away from. Otherwise, yeah, if someone is choosing an internship, then it will become tedious. But if someone doesn't have an internship, he or she can work with a professor in projects, and that's not that tedious at all.
Okay, so it's manageable.
Yeah, it's manageable.
Okay. So what about the student faculty ratio? Do you have a personal tutor system, or did you just attend lectures?
So my class had a strength of 60 students, and for the compulsory modules, the classes were divided into two parts. So the ratio comes out to be 30:1, although the professor was the same for both the groups. And for the other modules, which were electives, the ratio goes from 30:1 to 45:1 because there were students from other courses also which joins in with you. And for the personal tutor, as such, there are no personal tutors that are that you get on campus. But if you want some extra help, then one can contact professor. He or she would assign you with a research assistant or a teaching assistant to help you out in any topic in which you face problem with. That's not a problem.
So what activities are offered on campus, and were you a part of any clubs or societies?
So NTU has a sports and recreation center, which is quite huge and also had varied sports from swimming pool, archery, badminton, fencing, and many other. And students have full access to it. They can go there, play it anytime that they want. Moreover, students can also enjoy some those leisure activities like wine tasting, beekeeping, or cooking. There are societies made for these leisure activities, and one needs to join them to be updated with what events are being held for the same. Moreover, there is a one, like, since I went for the post graduation, so I personally think that one needs to join graduate student association, because this helps a post graduation student a lot. He or she comes to know about various distribution drives happening around the campus, get to network a lot, and also it also gives him or her an opportunity to work at a TEDx NTU, which is a major event at NTU. Yeah.
Okay. So what facilities and resources were available on the campus for students, like computer labs, libraries, and etc.?
For students, computer labs are like, so I'll be talking about my course. I was a part of Nanyang Business School. For us, there was a separate library, and we also had an access to the general NTU library as well. Moreover, there are computer labs given to us where if your PC is not working or you want to or there's some program which runs only on some specific computers, you can have access to those computer. Moreover, so in data analytics, you need some data, and real-time data is of so much value for the projects. We were provided with the Bloomberg terminals subscription as well, so that it is easy for us to get the data. And there were many more these distribution drives held at various places within the campus, which gives students an opportunity to serve the society in a better way, I would say, like distribute their old books or old clothes, or exchange their books with something new. And there were also food services given for the student from the student. Like the students used to partner with some caterers and they used to distribute food, and students can just submit some token amount to them to appreciate their service. So yeah.
So could you please tell us something about the infrastructure of the university campus?
So NTU is situated in west side of Singapore. It is a secluded area, I would say. The whole campus is situated within the forest, and one could actually see Malaysia from the buildings there. Moreover, it's all greenery around the building. So it's quite a breezy area. We don't feel that hot as compared to the main downtown area. Moreover, the campus has a interbus service which is quite efficient. Although I won't recommend that on weekends, because on weekends less bus service is available for students. But on weekdays, it's quite efficient. And there are also 2 public transport lines which goes through the campus, which allows students to travel to the downtown Singapore. And moreover, every building in the campus has their own canteen, so it provides an ease of food for a student, and the rates are quite reasonable as compared to other places I had food. So overall, the campus is quite friendly. One will enjoy their stay there.
Okay. Does the university guide or support students in terms of placement?
So, and since I was a student at a Nanyang Business School, I had a different career cell as compared to the NTU. So I'll be giving a description on both of them. First, talking about the NTU one. Now, the NTU one used to organize career fairs for students in order to, giving in student an opportunity to interact with the associates or executives from MNCs, and also to get to know more about the company's mission and what's their culture is. Moreover, they also used to help you with the resume building. Whereas I find the career placement or the placement centers of NBS, Nanyang Business School, were more proactive in this. They, although apart from providing the career fair opportunity and resume building facility, they also helped us with preparing for the interviews by organizing mock interviews or mock group discussions on weekly basis for students. But a student has to apply it 1 month before to take part in the mock interviews and mock group discussions. Moreover, they also helped our students in branding themselves on LinkedIn, which I love the most, because nowadays HRs and team members, whenever they get to know someone is joining them, they first go to LinkedIn to see how much work he or she has done, on how many projects he or she has contributed to. that actually gives a good overview about the student or the working professional. Overall, NBS career cell was more, advanced and more proactive as compared to the NTU ones. Overall, both are nice. Both gave me a good opportunity to work with the MNCs and also to work with domestic companies. Yeah.
Why did
And
you come back to India, Ritika?
I came back to India because at one point I felt way too lonely, I would say. And this loneliness have taken a toll on my brain. I was like, whenever it actually became a schedule which I actually got bored of, frankly speaking, from office to home, home to office after the university. And eventually I just had some friends to talk over to. But then later on, I just wanted something different from life. I want something where I can just settle in and it should just I just wanted to settle with someone or having someone around me. So I decided to come back to India. Otherwise, there's a lot of opportunity in Singapore. I was offered a job where I used to get internship. I worked with them for 4 to 5 months after my graduation on my employment visa. And yeah, it was taken a decision after a well-experienced span of time, I would say.
Okay. Okay. So there are opportunities, because that is a concern that a lot of students have, that after completion of your graduation, does Singapore provide enough job opportunities?
I won't say enough. It does have job opportunities, but you have to polish yourself to the best, because the first preference will always be given to the Singaporeans there. And let me tell you, government there is taking a lot of, initiatives to educate their population so that they get the priority. So one has to, constantly upskill themselves I'll be talking about IT. One needs to constantly upskill themselves in IT and, proactively appear for the interviews, apply for their jobs in order to get one.
You feel that the internship that you did regarding the entire course provided you the skills and the base for getting a job?
Yes, correct. I was quite lucky enough to get the internship. I actually worked quite hard to get the internship as well. I still remember I was staying in India at that time when there was in 2020, and I used to appear for a lot of internship interviews and used to give a lot of exams as well. Even getting an internship is a bit of tedious task. But yeah, once you get an internship, give your full best, because I think 98% of times where you give your internship time, they are the only ones to, provide you with the employment pass and take you as a full time.
Okay. So, I mean, the internship, you found it on your own, or did NTU help you in getting the internship?
NTU did help me in getting the internship. My professors helped me. Dr. TTT, Dr. Tio, we call him TTT, but Dr. Tio played a huge role in getting me the internship. And moreover, yeah, for the career as well, I would also add on one more point. You can also, contact professors there. Professors also have contacts with various MNCs or domestic companies. They know a lot about where the internship positions are empty and where the current job scenario is good. So yeah, do have a good relationship with your professor, and they'll be glad to help you out.
Okay. So please suggest what type of part-time jobs or internships can a student do along with their degree?
Since my course had the internship module, so I was appointed in an IT. I won't say IT, but I would say an RPA, that is robotic process automation, part of the artificial intelligence itself. I was employed in the RPA section of CIMB Bank. Apart from that, for other students, like I'll be talking about my friend who was staying with me. She was also doing an internship, but she was doing it within a startup to, just as a associate, I would say. So she was working in a business consultancy firm, and she was working as an intern associate, giving making presentations for her associate, for her seniors, and giving out her points. But for them, the number of hours were quite less. And for me, since my internship was a part of a program in which I was doing, my number of hours were more as compared to her. Yeah.
Okay. So how are international students supported at the campus?
International, I would say that campus itself is quite like it's built in order to serve the international students as international students. All the instructions which are there on the board are in English. Moreover, the campus also provide food from various countries. The food is not a problem within the campus, although the taste would differ what you have in India and what you will be having in foreign country. But yeah, it provides all sorts of food from Mediterranean to European, French cuisine, Indian, and Chinese, Sri Lankan cuisine as well. Moreover, since I was part of the NTU also gives you this app where students can, keep track of their bus timings. And also, if someone wants to go to some specific building, then they can just search through the app which way to go. The app will navigate you to that building, just like how Google Maps does. And moreover, I would definitely recommend someone I would definitely recommend someone to join in the Graduate Student Association if he or she is going through post-graduation or PhD. And there must be some society for UG students as well, which I don't know the name for. One must join these societies to be, I would say, so that he or she be updated with what all is going around the campus.
Okay. Did you live on campus or off campus? What would you advise the students regarding this?
I was living on campus during my entire stay. It was only in last 4 months, 4 to 6 months, when I was on my employment pass, I was living off campus. So you are only allowed to live on campus if you are on your student pass and you're a student of NTU. For both undergraduation, post-graduation, and PhDs, I would recommend them to join the student association, because that higher ups your chances, that levels up your chances of getting a accommodation within the campus. I would also recommend you to stay within the campus, because housing outside the campus is very expensive. I mean, it's more than the double, and the services are not that great. When I ask my friends who are in contact with me during this time, they all are, just suffering for some or the other issue. Like there's no proper security in the apartment, or there are some timings in the water supply. Like from this to this time, only the water supply will be given to certain apartments. But in NTU campus, no such thing is there. It's quite easygoing. And yeah, that's the advice which I'll give. Do join the student association in order to stay within the campus.
Okay. So what about the medical facilities available?
So NTU campus have a medical facility called Fullerton, and that Fullerton building has clinics for doctors in with varied specialities. But in order to get an appointment, of a doctor, one needs to, register 1 week before, which is quite a cumbersome task. And even during the emergencies, I find that the Fullerton was not well equipped. Although there is a nearby medical facility, that is Geelong Medical Center, that is more well equipped, more like a larger, have larger infrastructure, moreover, and it can also treat an emergency in a much efficient way as compared to the Fullerton one. Moreover, the Fullerton one is not that easily reachable. Like, you have to change a lot of buses in order to go there, and the facility is on quite a hill. So even if you go and walk there, it's quite a tiring task, I would say. Yeah, that's like a minus point of a campus which I found. The medical facility, I didn't find it that good.
All right. Would you like to give any advice to the students regarding their increasing the chances of scholarships?
For students, I would really advise them to submit their application as soon as possible in the first deadline itself, because this gives them actually their chances are quite up in getting a admission letter, and also they will be the first ones to write their scholarship essays. Moreover, have a good vocabulary, because like that was one part where I was missing in my applications. In order to express yourself and show that you have an edge over others, one should have a good vocabulary, and it should be demonstrated in your essays as well. And also, while jotting down your strengths, also mention examples on why you think you have these strengths. This will enable the reader to to relate with your strengths or your points more easily. Yeah.
Okay. Any tips on the application process and essays?
For application process, again, the same thing. Submit your application as soon as possible in your first deadline itself. Your resume should be up to date. Mention about all the projects which a student has been doing, about giving a brief description on it, giving a what you did and what were the results and how it benefited someone. In your essays, mention about your project work on what you did. And also, if you are other than showing your educational qualities, also focus on your non-educational qualities, explaining that what sports you wear, what sports you play, and how teamwork or leadership comes into play with them. Because university looks at yeah, sorry, moving on.
No, please continue.
Because if someone is reading your application, they would really appreciate their student or their applicant to be an all-rounder. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you would have done differently during your application procedure?
I would have submitted my applications as early as possible. I didn't focus on this point during my application, during my application process. If I would have submitted much earlier, then I believe my scholarship chances would have increased. I would have got certain, amount scholarship, certain amount waived off, I would say. Yeah. And vocabulary also.
Okay. So what would you suggest, post-graduation in India or outside? And how education in Singapore is different from that of Indian education?
For if someone wants to work outside India for, brief period of time, then he or she should definitely opt for going abroad, because it actually provides a good opportunity for that student to come to achieve his or her dream. And can you repeat a second question?
How is education different from Indian education?
So in order, this education aspect, I will be comparing India and Indian IP University and NTU. In IP University, I remember giving exams in a pen and paper style, whereas in Singapore it was more project basis. I had to pick up a real time work problem and then sort that problem out through my knowledge. So that's the main difference between the two. Moreover, the number of lectures provided for a subject is less as compared to the ones which are provided in IP University. The schedule are not that hectic as in the university which I was there. Moreover, this work and study combination, which I got to experience, became my favorite as compared to what was in India, that was just studying and working during your summer breaks only. These are the differences which I found with from both the universities.
Okay, so are there any tips that you would like to share with students who are planning to study abroad?
Tips as in what they should look forward to?
Yes. Any tips regarding how they should be scoring well in exams, how they should be building their profile?
Okay.
Any skills that they should learn before they leave?
Okay. I would definitely say them to learn coding and Python, because while interacting with many students within the campus from different field, they all were made to learn Python or coding in their initial years of course, because some or the other, later in their life, later in their coursework, they have to do programming and they have to solve a real-time problem with the data through by using machine learning algorithms or data analytics techniques. So definitely recommend them just to get to get an overview of what is programming and how it's done, and pick up Python coding language. It's a good one to start with. Moreover, apart from only focusing from their education, like completing their lessons and getting good grades, one should also focus on other activities like playing sports, participating in competitions, and being part of societies which organize various fairs or functions or fests, because this will demonstrate your leadership skills and the teamwork skills. And these would also enhance your, the essay which you write. So these, do focus on these things.
Okay, my last question from you is that what did you miss the most about India?
First thing which I missed was the warmth and the love which people in India gave me. I missed a lot. That was the main reason which I came back, because I have always been in habit of living with someone, my parents, my brother, or surrounded by someone. And moreover, the food, it was quite hard for me to adapt to the taste, to adapt to the food there. And moreover, being a Jain, I am a vegetarian. It was quite a bit of a task for me to find a vegetarian food. I had to adjust a lot and try various cuisine and get used to the smell of non-veg and meat in my stay there. So yeah, I miss the food and the warmth of the people.
Okay, thank you so much for patiently answering all my questions. Now, let me leave the floor open for students and parents to get their queries addressed by you.
Yeah, sure.
I remember, Ritika, you would dance. You had a diploma in Kathak or Bharatanatyam. Did you finally dance there as part of the cultural events?
I did dance once, but that wasn't a live thing. They just recorded me and they telecasted it on the website. Okay. Since it was all, everything was closed because of COVID. So no one was allowed to sit in a hall and watch. Okay. We were not allowed to make a group of more than 5 people at a certain place. Okay. So they just recorded my scenes and my dance, and then they telecasted it on. Oh, it was a nice opportunity. I really loved that.
I remember you even shared it with your interviewer that you danced.
Yeah. It was actually a nice thing because that was a time when the professor got interested in, oh, you dance as well, you're a student as well. So what sort of dance you do? The professor was quite interested in knowing that as well.
Yeah, I remember. Adya, do you have any questions for Ritika? Anything you'd like to ask?
Yes, ma'am, I had a question. So what are the key skills that you would suggest that we should build upon to get an admission in masters in business or data analytics? Like in my bachelor's, what can I do? What should I be focusing on?
Definitely focus on coding, and Python is given a great importance during the coursework. So I would say definitely work on your Python skills. Moreover, give it a chance, have a brief of the machine learning algorithms, because that provides you an edge over all the students because you already know a lot about them. Moreover, I would say also learn a bit of a stats, like learn basics, because professors are there to help you with the advanced ones. And I would say leave that job to them, because if you do that, if you learn the advanced ones on yourself, like by yourself, it would be a bit difficult to inference, because the way they teach is a bit different, and the way Indian textbooks are demonstrate statistical techniques is a bit different. Moreover, do the course business analytics. Before getting into the course and within the application process, one needs to prepare for the interview, and prepare for the interview very hard. Apart from their education, I believe they give more importance to your extracurricular activities and what project works you have done the most. Because the business analytics module have students from different field. I remember I was studying the module with a lady who was quite elder to me. She was 32, and she was actually a translator. She used to translate from Russian to Chinese and Chinese to Russian. She just wanted to upskill herself. That's why she got enrolled in the program. And moreover, there was this one person who studied medicine at NUS, but he wanted to, go into a bit technical stuff in a medical field. That's why he got enrolled in the NUS. So yeah, that's what I would say. I hope that answers your question, Adya.
Yes, that helps. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ritika, for taking out some time to join us for the webinar. And all your answers were so helpful and supportive. We wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Bhumika.
All the best, Ritika.
Thank you so
Lovely seeing you,
Thank
Yeah.
you, Aditi ma'am.
And
Thank you so
many,
much.
many congratulations on your marriage, and wishing you lots of love and togetherness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me for the webinar as well.
We really appreciate
Thank you so much.
your
Thanks again.
input. Thank you.
Thank you.